guided tour in with about 20 other people and get up close, see the bomb range.
Shot 01, roger, 2,000 feet approved. You are responsible for your own terrain clearance. 231, confirm, QFE 1021, set 30.15.
3015 set, NATO 31.
Janitor Media and Communications.
01, NATO 31, clear to display, runway 20, QFE 1021, 30.15. Shot 01, NATO 31, continue at tower 121.6.
Warning and control force.
Got one climb flight level 150.
Flight level 150,
Shot 1 squawk 6050.
NATO 31, clear to land. Slow down, NATO 31.
Two sentries amongst the
Ground, 13 Air Force Foxtrot 6, ready for taxi.
20, QFE 1021, taxi 20, Delta, halt.
13 Air Force Foxtrot 6.
the entrance. And so they're a lot lower and be coming down absolutely right on the button, and they'll all be landing right in front of the VIP tent, which is a bit...
Golf Oscar, Alpha, Foxtrot, Foxtrot.
Golf
Alpha, Foxtrot, Foxtrot, Waddington Town. Good morning, Joan, runway 20, QFE 1021. Report downwind.
1021, and I am downwind, left hand for 20, Foxtrot.
Foxtrot, Foxtrot, roger, wind 2007.
Foxtrot, Foxtrot, clear to land, surface window 1905.
Clear to land, Foxtrot.
Taken in total with the drop about an hour and a half to get the team up here. And by the way, they'll be packing up, jumping aboard that aircraft and going off to do another show directly after this. But what they're doing now, they're running forward for a line-up in front of the VIP tent. So ladies and gentlemen...
Roger, Fox 16, Waddington Town. Good morning, hold.
Line up and wait. Clear takeoff and display, surface wind 18010 knots.
Alpha, Foxtrot, Waddington ground, taxi back.
Foxtrot, yes, where was you? Lancaster.
lazy, enter the Delta taxiway with caution vehicles transiting and to the lazy lane. Jordanian Falcons ground.
From Gibson 1, deconfliction with BBMF, we're looking to get airborne at minute 50.
Gibson 1, go to ground.
Can't take off minute 50.
Gibson 1, confirm takeoff time minute 58.
Confirm, however, requesting, due to deconfliction with BBMF, requesting time takeoff minute 50.
Falcons, delays your takeoff time, now minute 29. Expect to be at the base of minute 20. Falcons, runway 20, QFE 1021, taxi via the Delta taxiway to 20 Alpha hold.
QFE 1021.
Final pass. So, boys and girls, there's lots of action for you today. Hats, coats, umbrellas, parents, ice creams, whatever you got. Big waves, yes, this is great. Standing for midlife upgrade. Fighting Falcon. Yes, that refers to the additional work that was made.
Get left, report runway vacated.
Rising Air Force 416, Vulcan.
Falcons, clear takeoff and display, service wind 1808 knots.
Clear for takeoff and display, Jordanian Falcon.
Welcome return to Waddington for National Aerobatic. Superb formation it is indeed, pushing hard here. I was talking to you earlier on about
Waddington, French Air Force 605.
some of these manoeuvres, and I can assure you
French Air Force 605, Waddington approach. Identified, descending flight level 100, traffic service. Request, persons on board each aircraft.
French Air Force 605, descending Festival 1 de Bordeaux. We are a flight of 8 Alpha Jet, 16 person on board, 16.
French Air Force 605, roger, 8 Alpha Jets, 2 on each.
Affirm, sir.
French Air Force 605, roger. Waddington Information Echo, runway 20, colour code blue, QFE 1021, report set.
There's a good opportunity coming up for one of the first big photo shoots of the day, as this team now repositions to come back into what is going to be their Concorde split. Okay, let's listen in. We should hear the leader call it very, very shortly. So stand by, everybody, for the split. Good photo shot coming up. Ready, go! There was the leader calling the split.
We will do arrival, initial point 20 for a pitch arrival, and for aircraft we'll do a logo for rehearsal till 10:57.
Jordanian Air Force Service.
French Air Force 605, roger. Set Waddington QFE 1021.
One French Air Force 605.
French Air Force 605, descend to height 10,000 feet.
French Air Force 605, descending 10,000 feet, 1021.
Yes, he's flicking it around. It's a very graceful one, actually a very easy one this time. It's a check in the back of his cocktail, and he's got a flip-flop out of this, and with any luck, he'll just throw it in there. He's keeping it reasonably stable into a flat spin, and again, all the world is going upside down as he controls it very nicely towards
5,
putting out now.
we have runway in sight to rejoin initial point 20.
French French Air Force 605, roger. If you maintain this frequency until advised at height 10,000 feet, as there is still aircraft being displayed this time.
Copy that, sir. Maintaining 10,000 feet 1021 on this heading.
French Air Force 605, you can manoeuvre as you require, but maintain at height to 10,000 feet until advised.
French Air Force 605, copy that.
The United Arab Emirates, and most recently a trophy for best display at RAF Yeovilton here in the UK.
As we get a goose just going up between the three ship there, solo pilot will come and rejoin them in just a moment.
Gibson 1, go ahead.
Gibson 1, we now have a window to get you airborne at minute 39. Will you be able to taxi in time?
It's okay, we'll maintain with my minute 58.
Roger.
Just like flying around the outside, imagine those big old beer barrels, and that's what they'll be doing momentarily. So just another little oblique loop here to complete from the left, and then they're repositioned.
Approach cable de-rigged, overrun cable up, uppies set at 3 degrees.
French Air Force 605, copy. We are steady 10,000 feet.
And what is very distinctive about the Jordanian Falcons, of course, the general grace in which they display their action, as opposed to teams you'll see later on like the Blades.
And as you can see, that's positioned them head on towards us for their final Concorde break. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2013 Royal Jordanian Falcons.
When you're up there, speed is speed, isn't it? You can't really tell. It's only when you have to put off the ground that speed is really relevant. What is the big jump for guys like you?
Exactly. The big jump, obviously, from the Hawk T1, which unfortunately is not displaying this year on the circuit.
Level 605, route via initial, surface wind 1505 knots and left-hand brake.
Typhoon is quite a lot. The Typhoon's got a lot in its cockpit. And similarly, the Tucano and the Hawk, although reasonably...
Waddington ground, Jordanian Falcons, request taxi back.
Jordanian Falcons, Waddington ground, enter Delta taxiway to the lazy, report marshal inside.
We'll call Jordanian Falcons.
A bit, we are aware of a piece of perspex.
It's a small piece of fod apparently that was dropped off the previous 4 aircraft, so they're just checking their canopies. Just wanted to confirm that it was clear before we taxied.
Someone, yeah, the flying display director is aware of that, and we have people on the way to collect it.
Copy.
Thank you. Identified traffic service request level climbing to.
Traffic service climbing flight level 40 for the hold, Gibson 1.
Gibson 1, roger. Gibson 1, traffic north 5 miles, still moving southbound flight level 55 unverified. Traffic west 5 miles, 3 contacts, possibly 4 contacts, manoeuvring, no height information, probably gliders at Silverstone.
Looking, Gibson 1.
Waddington, good morning. Red Nat, radio check.
Stop it, requesting descent for 1,000 feet on the QFD 1021.
Gibson 1, report level.
Okay.
Loud and clear, show is on time, expect start at minute 20.
Red Nat 2.
The Lancaster skipper today by Flight Lieutenant Loz Rushmere. Alongside him as co-pilot Flight Lieutenant Roger Nichols, and behind him as navigator Squadron Leader Tony Beresford, and making sure that it's all turning and burning properly, Engineer Flight Sergeant Mark Fellow.
records book describes Gibson.
Battling Gibson, Roger, circuit clear, 1 squirrel, holding crowd rear, wind 1708.
Gibson and his crew made it back to Scanton. Others were not so lucky. Of the 19 Lancasters sent on the raid, 11 made it through perilous.
Holding right.
Through to him, and he reported the mission to the US Congress. The members of the modern number 617 squadron are fiercely proud of their unit's history. There is indeed perhaps no more famous squadron in the whole of the RAF. Despite its high operational tempo, this 70th anniversary was one all concerned on 617 were anxious to mark in memorable fashion.
Gibson will be split from battle to run in a break. So let down wind join, pressing for battle break to land. Battle 1 will be VFR reach acknowledgement.
Battle Roger, Gibson 1, report initial runway 20.
Okay, Gibson 1.
Clear to land.
Gibson 1.
We'll also be
Taxi to the 20 Delta hold, Redknapp.
Exciting and very, very competent show indeed that Rod puts it in. So there we are, culminating our commemoration.
Chris Deems leading, Mark Fitzgerald in number 2. Just to present you with a photo opportunity for the other side of the aircraft. If you want one with the canopy up now, you can get your photographs. I'll give you some warning of that. They basically now
Gibson 1, shutting down. Gibson 1.
An oblique 360-degree turn. It's a little bit more interesting than a flat turn because it pitches them up as they get furthest away from the crowd. It's not a loop and it's not a flat turn. It's kind of a third going outside. Now will reverse back the other way, and they'll position themselves all the way round a 370-degree turn. And there they go, they've broken for the opposition pass to pass. So yes, you're absolutely right. Effectively, the smoke allows them to see each other, particularly on a hazy day, with this aircraft being so painfully small. When they're 3 or 4 miles apart, coming back towards each other for the opposition pass, it's absolutely imperative that they see each other. Otherwise they would have bought the manoeuvre for obvious safety reasons. So you see them now, they've both gone out on opposition 45-degree angles, and then they've done a derry turn, and they're both coming back in from right and left onto your crowd line, sporting smoke so that you can see them and they can see each other. And here they come, about 600, 700 knots closure for the opposition pass. He's now doing a half Cuban, which is effectively the first part of the loop with smoke, that's lovely. And as he comes over the top of the loop and he starts going back down towards the ground, running away from us, he'll actually stop the loop, and he'll roll the aircraft the right way up.
One to land.
That one, let's let land.
Land, Redknapp.
Not quite deployed properly on Redknapp 1. We'll be having a word with the guys that pack that sheet.
Of course, next year the 50th display season of the Red Arrows.
Yeah, so an aircraft you haven't seen yet, but we acquired a couple of years ago and seen them as deep special rebuild.
That's report runway vacated. Although I've changed my last, clear display.
Roger, comment, clear display.
With flight aircraft such as the Bulldog, it's quite hard work to keep the display ground centered and close to you guys on the ground. That's exactly what's going on.
Being able to do that, he has put up just over 40 years now of display experience that Rod Dean has. he must be one of the most experienced display pilots in the UK, if not the world. He started out as RAF Strike Command's solo display pilot on the Hunter in 1971 to 72. Much more recently, in his civilian life, he's flown a huge number of different piston-engine warbirds, Spitfires, Mustangs, Hurricanes, Seafire, Sky Raider and others.
I had a few spins in that too. It was my first aircraft actually, many years ago. I won't tell you when, but very strong, robust. Not at all like the flimsy sort of plastic types we have to fly these days. But anyway, it was, as you say, a very strong and robust aircraft. But right now, coming up, something very, very different indeed. He's hot, girls. He is really exciting. He's a wonderful young
Bulldog,
man.
roger, taxi back.
Well, the centre just crossing the display line there, and he goes immediately into a knife-edge climb and flick rolling it across the display line. Absolutely perfect stuff indeed. And what is really impressive about this is the slowness of some of the manoeuvres, and there's the first one indeed, a very, very slow, low-speed sort of, and that's just started. So I'm sure there's a lot more to come. Keep your eyes peeled.
You'll notice that this aircraft comes to us with the compliments of Breitling, one of the sponsors of the RAF Waddington International Airshow, and it's a privileged occasion because this is the first time the display at the UK event. It's no stranger to Britain though, because in 2009 he competed here in the World Aerobatic Championships when they were held that year at Silverstone.
In those championships, of course, he served to a top finish, absolutely impressing everybody that was at that championship, and a remarkable achievement for such a young lad indeed. He's got aviation really embedded in his blood, and keep a very, very close eye now, sparring up, pulling it through now, getting back into the positive G domain. All the blood now is raining back, stabilising the body back on the display line.
Yes, Nico went for his first trial flying lesson at the age of just 11. By the time he was 15, he was performing aerobatics in a two-seat Cat 10.
Yes, very much a starter aircraft in the aerobatic world, really strong and stable, the Cat 10, and of course a great lead-in. This is right at the other end of the spectrum. This is the Formula One of the aerobatic aviation world. Tumbling down there, everything going giddy, but he's right on top of it, perfectly in control. Chucking in a quick avalanche just for good measure there. That's really tumbling and flicking in at the top of the loop. But look at that, he's pushing it away from himself now and almost going into a tiny little square loop before then flip-flopping over the tail. And it's at the top end of these manoeuvres where Mika really is very, very different in the way he handles this aircraft. It's really outstanding performance, pushing the envelope right on the top end of the speed range of this particular aircraft. Normally you see it flips and roll a lot faster, but what is impressive about this is how he manoeuvres it when he's almost run out of airspeed altogether. This has got a phenomenal roll rate of 450 degrees a second. Yes, a bit of a trademark there, Paul Street, well known to the slide at the top end of a loop, but Mika just putting his own variation on that manoeuvre. Squaring it off. Tumbling through almost an inverted spin there, not quite out of control, but very, very neatly recovered.
Has been lucky enough to make aviation his profession in recent years. He's the instructor apart from doing aerobatic flying, but he's gearing up for the World Aerobatic Championships this year, taking place in the USA.
Yes, instructor, and I gather he's got a commercial license as well. How on earth did he manage to cram it in? I mean, he's still a baby. Extraordinary. Yes, we're barely halfway through this. The number of manoeuvres he's getting through is really quite extraordinary. You can't talk fast enough to keep up with a guy like this, because this, as I say, is at the extreme end. Hanging on the prop, look at the way that aircraft is almost falling out of the sky. His tail sliding it back to his own state. And he'll flip-flopping down now, tail, nose over tail, recovering, not quite into a spin, but just a spiral dive before regaining and capturing the line. Pushing so hard there. In the training camp he was telling us they regularly push and ease into +10 and -10, but pushing about -6 there just to getting up there. And look, that's a good example there of how he manoeuvres it so slowly through the entire 360-degree envelope, but at no airspeed whatsoever. Slide, flick, slide, roll, flick, slide, roll.
Extreme, roger, clear to land, surface wind calm.
Clear to land on a 20 extreme.
A little bit of a fly past, give him a wave. Well done, Mika, that was terrific there, because he really doesn't need 10,000 feet of runway to land this aircraft, so superb stuff indeed. But you can keep up to date with him, and if you want more information, you can go to his Facebook page, Mika Abrasio Aerobatics Official. Or, if you want to meet him, and girls, I thoroughly recommend you do this later on, go to the pilot's tent where you can get an autograph card from him, and believe me, you will...
Lima 72, clear display.
A good...
Set by Lima 72.
So, hope to see you.
We'll try to get to the end of the runway, then right, then left again as he brings the aircraft back down. The 2013 Tucano was painted over the winter by our contractor at Lancaster, Babcock Aviation, and the paint was provided to us by Indestructible Paints. If it weren't for these two companies, then the desert paint scheme would not be applied to the aircraft. And as he turns there, the azure blue underside almost vanishing in the deep blue sky. He's now flying a hesitation half Cuban out to the crowd left, and then he's going to bring the aircraft along the A-axis and fly a slow roll. It's quite a complicated manoeuvre which requires the coordination of rudder and aileron, and Fivey flies a very nice slow roll, and this will show the top and bottom surface very nicely. Fly another half Cuban to the right hand side, again showing the top surface in the hesitation. This year's display has received support from ITP. ITP produce and maintain the engines of the Tucano. The company are based in Madrid and have a small factory close to our base near York. Tucano T1 is based on the Embraer 312 Tucano and is the RAF basic fast jet trainer. The Tucano entered service in 1989 and replaced the venerable jet propellant. At Linton we train both Royal Air Force and Royal Navy pilots.
Lima 72, clear to land.
But obviously the RAF designation is that much more recognisable, so the decision was taken to go for Romeo Alpha and then obviously F as the code letter.
I think a bit of artistic licence is fair enough. In their 95th anniversary year of the Royal Air Force as well, let's project the corporate image.
AV580, Roger, you can begin your run in this time.
We've also got the 100 Squadron Hawk painted to resemble a 100 Squadron Lancaster as well, so two camouflaged RAF modern types depicting the aircraft of 70 or so years ago. A very nice touch. Out to the right now, I think we need to look forward. We do. Certainly I think it's still a place to black and blue light, but I hope that everything is under control. But one of us got the light on fire. Below, the Royal Navy Merlin Mark II will do its thing. Now, we've not actually seen this display, so I'm not quite sure how they put it through its paces. But I've looked at that, we'll see as much of the envelope as possible.
580, clear display. Clear display,
Very soon the Royal Navy and Angel Hover, no doubt, just for the...
Display to Roger, report established crowd here.
Very large helicopter.
The Reds are now taxiing. I've put a call for release on, so I'll inform you as soon as they're ready to go, and you can link up with them.
Project 1, thank you. We're good two-way. We're listening out on their frequency and have already chatted to them, and we're still working on that 5-minute Rolex.
Here's another demonstration
I'll keep you updated if I get a change.
Well,
we might be picking up approximately 2 mics because the C-160 after the blade is cancelled.
Absolutely right.
Okay. If possible, we'd like to stick to our original, our current 5-minute Rolex.
Roger.
PM 1020 will start 0-1 on my turn. 4. Fuel. Lancaster and go. Lancaster. 4.
I think we're attacking back. Navy Pirates, Waddington ground, taxi back, we're closing. Correction report, marshalling time. Welcome, Navy Pirates.
And blades 2 and 4 are on the outside of the formation. Now, all the pilots flying off the blades this afternoon are all former Red Arrows, and the banter at Scampton was always about the art of precision. Today, the blades like to do things a little bit differently. We like to create a little bit of order out of chaos. So from the card formation, this is our first manoeuvre of chaos. This is called the Blades Fountain. Okay, now the guys are going to come towards... Now watch the front two aircraft, they're going to snap on the way. Now watch the middle two aircraft as they fly upwards, and then together fly backwards through their own smoke. Now taking centre stage now is Blade and the Evans, who's our solo display for this year, is completely out of manoeuvre. It's called the Lonchevak. It's a Czech word which means to give you a headache, and you can probably appreciate why. I've been in the cockpit as Andy flies this one. It really is a complete head spinner. Now boys and girls, mums and dads, families, look left and watch out for the 3 orange aircraft coming towards us to show you the roll. And for those of you further down the display line, 3 more with the roll. Now work on the Evans here. He doesn't like to miss down. He's going to come over the top here and rejoin blades 1, 2 and 3. Just watch how quickly he flies towards his teammate to use his propeller almost as a brake as he slots back in to create box formation. Bottom of all 4 of our aircraft, so give it a cheer, give it a roar for the Union Jack as the blades come around nice and low and nice and tight for the blades, box bend showing off the Union Jack. And the blades are going to get themselves set for a unique manoeuvre. Now this manoeuvre has just featured on the Yorkshire Tea advert, so if anyone of you have seen the Yorkshire Tea advert, you might recognise this
as the blades actually fly out of a steaming mug of tea. So this is from that advert, and we love this manoeuvre. Formation flying from 4 aircraft at 0 miles an hour. It's going to look good with the gleaming orange aircraft today. This one is called the Blaze Hammerhead. Now this next one is very, very important. Not only is it a testament to our Iron heritage, it's a testament to those brave few that fought all those years ago in the Great Battle of Britain. It speaks for itself, it's beautiful, it's simply called the Spitfire Roll.
We're 5 minutes very late. We're 5 past the central. We have night spaces.
Copy that, boss. Well done. Confirm minute 01.
Request Tuesday and wind.
1020, it is southerly at 6 knots.
Look at the red arrows, that's southwest of Beam by 2 miles, heading to the south of
Lancaster display team.
Thank you. 1 2 4.
Tuesday afternoon, that's the 2013 display team. Receiving explosion, catching water, and locating some...
Reds. Air brake set. Go. Very correct, copy. Focus that shot. That's it.
Red 1 calls the team into short diamond formation as Reds 8 and 9 tuck in to form our famous Diamond 9 formation chain. Red 1 is squadron leader Jim Turner. It's his second year leading the team, but he was a wingman with the Red Arrows from 2005 to 2007 and culminated in leading the synchro pair. He is a former Jaguar weapons instructor and Jaguar display pilot. His most recent role has been working with the Royal Saudi Air Force's equivalent to the Red Arrows, where he was their official advisor. Boys and girls, the mechanics please come towards you. The pilots can't see you, so get waving. We fly the majority of our formations with the odd-numbered pilots on the left-hand side and the even-numbered pilots on the right-hand side. Red 6 and 7, the synchro pair, tend to sit directly behind the leader. On the bottom of the formation now is Red 4, Flight Lieutenant Martin Pert. Pert's in his second year with the team and is the team's executive officer. He's a former Hawk flying instructor and was the solo Hawk display pilot. And operationally he flew the Harrier JAR-9 over Afghanistan. The smoke goes off now, the wings have dropped back one more position to form the shape of the iconic supersonic airliner. And as they come left, some red, white and blue to show the very best of British. This is Concorde. Carried out by 617 Squadron on the night of the 16th of May 1943. Those brave aircrews flew their 19 Lancaster bombers deep into enemy territory to drop their bouncing bombs. With the smoke on now, the team are forming the shape of the Lancaster bomber. It's worth noting that 617 are still operating today, flying the Tornado GR4 from RAF Lossiemouth. So in from the left-hand side now, to commemorate 7... One of our pilots has completed a tour with the famous Jambuster Squadron. Red 3 is on the ground. Lots of waving again, boys and girls, as the aircraft come out at around 2,500 feet, flying at 400 miles an hour. On the leader's right wing now is Red 2, another of our first-year pilots. That's Flight Lieutenant Ollie. Red 9 is moving to the far side of the formation during this change. He is Flight Lieutenant Mike Child. It's his second year with the team. He's a former Hawk flying instructor, solo Hawk display pilot, before he was then posted to the Typhoon, where he worked on those quick reaction alert duties. At the top of this loop, the jets have slowed down to around 150 miles an hour now as they reach a height of 6,000 feet, in a shape called Signet. In the middle of the left-hand wing is the last of our first. Enid, go right, and Jippo, go left. This is the 5-4 split. For Red 7, followed by Red 8. These aircraft are ascending to just 100 feet, and they're closing at over 850 miles an hour. Get your cameras ready for the amazing Jippo Pass. That is Red 9. He's going to fly in between Enid's V as they perform the Goose. Climb to 7,500 feet as their smoke comes on to draw their heart. Now Red 6, who's on the left of this formation now, would like to dedicate this heart to his partner, in fact fiancée, Corporal Victoria White, who is an engineer with the Red Arrows. So Vic, this is for you. Coming in through the heart with his smoke on to draw the spear is Red 8, Flight Lieutenant Ben Plank.
Vulcan, roger, maintaining radio silence, continue with tower 121.3.
Info break. And we are the Royal Air Force Aerobatic team, the Red Arrows.
On display wing, the 1904. Alpha, clear takeoff and display medium. To hold in Delta taxiway to tower.
Got 2, roger, hold continue with tower 121.3. Hold down 121.3, black tape.
Waddington, ground, Solo Tucano, this request tied up.
Start, runway 20, KFE 1020, request POB.
All copied, we request a takeoff at runway 02.
Roger, request POB.
Unable, we report going on taxi.
Very gentle on the throttle there, but later on you'll hear the mighty roar of those four Rolls-Royce Bristol Olympus 202 shaft turbojets with 16,400 pounds of power each. And look at that huge wingspan of 111 feet, just a little bit bigger, would you believe, than an Airbus A318.
It's perhaps hard to believe from the very advanced look of this aircraft's design that this was a machine that first flew in prototype form, then known as the Avro 698 in 1952.
Yes, from the hands of the remarkable Roy Chadwick, and who would believe that just 11 years earlier, the Lancaster, which he also described, took flight as well. I mean, amazing turnaround in technology in the space of little over 10 years. Quite an achievement, and it all started, I understand, with a scruffy bit of paper and an old drawing, wondering whether this could actually fly.
The bomb bay turn is complete, the bomb doors are closed, Bill will be flying out now to perform a wing over.
It was really a mark of the success of the V-Force as part of Britain's nuclear deterrent during the Cold War years that the Vulcan didn't actually have to go to war until the Falklands in 1982.
And the Vulcan now approaches from the left towards Star Centre. The partner Bill Ramsey will be beginning a left-hand 360-degree turn. And about 3/4 of the way around the turn will be applied towards the right.
On the 30th of April 1982,
it's taken to get things this far as XH558's return to flight.
He's actually spent most of his time on a tiny little aircraft called a Tutor. But I know he relishes his weekends whilst flying this aircraft. And
www.vulcantothesky.com. What a spectacle now for those of you in the right position as XH558 comes in past XM607 to land.
And as Bill puts the aircraft gently on the ground, you'll notice he holds the nose wheel in the air. We call this aerodynamic braking. The
KFE 1020, taxi to the Echo hold field 02, right hand departure, request POB.
Yes, thank you very much indeed for that marvellous round of applause. Thoroughly deserving. I mentioned a young Jason.
Number of persons on board.
It's a single person, one.
Welcome the Royal Navy Service Lancaster.
They also took requests switching channel for display.
So let's continue for Waddington Tower 121.3.
Give us that introduction. Yes, indeed. Talking us through.
Runway 02, clear for takeoff and display up to 12,000 feet, above 8,500 feet at your discretion.
Checker for 37 Griffin today and ready for engine start.
And he's coming up on your left.
Start. Request PAB.
And now, from your left side, Tucano will start the next maneuver.
Ground Griffin ready.
Position, and at a very low altitude.
Griffin to squad.
Dribble out in the body to run through the head. Then it will circle around itself while it's just in front of you.
413.
Maybe so too.
413, possible switch.
From your left side,
Wodex 413 with 3 on board, request taxi from spot 15 to the Foxtrot hold, ready for takeoff at minute 19.
just in front of you, you will have a tunnel. Ready and yes.
Taxi to the 20 Delta hold. We'll get you away from the 20 threshold due to the F-16 possibly deploying a chute.
Runway 201020 and to the Delta 0 hold.
And this maneuver, the next maneuver, is my favorite.
Griffin ready to taxi.
Griffin hold position, or just getting the Chinook away before you.
Copy holding position ready to taxi.
He's coming towards you. Applause with excitement. I think he deserves it. becoming more than enough. We will descend 90 degrees. Please do not cry. It's either your own car. With a landing gear down. Since changes to a different flight control mode when gears down, less responsive than normal. It's also a difficult maneuver to take down. Design. We will be standing now for to show our Turkish flag, crescent and star. Please watch out. Down of aircraft, crescent and star. Thank you for your waving and thank you for your applause. After landing solitude, Captain
Foxtrot and Echo and point into wind for the shooting.
And take photos.
Say again, please. Solo taxi between Foxtrot and Echo and point into wind. Taxi between Foxtrot and Echo.
Perfect. Really, thank you. Yeah, absolute pleasure. That was most exciting, and I love the Turkish rock music there, Ben.
Takeoff and display up to 12,000 feet, above 8,500 feet, at your discretion, wind calm. Waddington approach identified 5,000 feet 1020 traffic service.
Traffic service 5350 is ready to the northern hole for runway 20.
5350, roger, information kilo, runway 20, colour code blue, Kiffy 1020, and I'll advise you when the RAT's available.
Copy 201020, acknowledging 5350, expecting display mode 6.
0, roger, POB, are you familiar with Waddington's proposition?
POB, negative arms and further coverage 55.
Roger. Clear to land.
Great to land, good land.
Superb piece of flying. Yeah, very good display from the check.
50, roger, after your display, depart to the east, climb to our height 8,000 feet, back this frequency.
Roger, east at 8,000, back to this, talking 50 minutes.
Thank you very much, you did for us too.
and we look forward in future to seeing some of the next generation Gripen.
Gripen, next convenient left report vacated.
Production examples.
We'll locate next to Rollins Gripen.
Roger.
Started to be built on Wednesday of the week just gone.
Well, I said he was an encyclopedia, didn't I? And
413, clear display.
Clear display, Waddington 413.
Gripen, continue with Waddington ground, 130.5.
130.5, sorry. Waddington ground, Gripen after landing on our frequency.
Gripen, Waddington ground, taxi back, report shutting down.
Taxi back to airport.
Lindsay is approximately 4 miles north of the Campton map.
Typhoon 50, ACOM.
550.
Apache, Waddington ground, start.
Start Apache.
It's well known that the Chinook makes an incredible sound while in flight. This will be 80% from around 1,000 feet. The crewmen will be regretting that extra sandwich about now.
50 approach.
Go ahead.
50 appears that the display now is just the 1 minute behind, so minute 47 you should expect a display.
Cover that up position for run in minute 47, I'll call you on.
50, roger. Typhoon 50, traffic south, 3 miles, manoeuvring, slow moving, no height, believed to be Wickham circuit traffic, low level.
50, social for traffic, that location.
Internal load.
By my watch, you've still got 3 more minutes.
Yeah, that's right. I'm planning on a minute 47 running though, Castle Town.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as they bow for you now, please give a big cheer and a wave one last time.
413, display complete. Finals for the runway 02 Foxtrot intersection if available.
Typhoon 50, Waddington Tower, join runway 20, QFE 1020, 1 Chinook end, short final.
Operational conversion unit at RAF Coventry. That's one of 2 Typhoon bases on the UK's soil over here. The other being RAF Lucas in Scotland, which is home to numbers 1 and 6 squadrons. Then there are numbers 3 and 11 squadrons also at Waddington.
centre, a bit of underside view as he
Turn the ground at Mishko, Kilo, start, request number of persons on board. RP will be one person on board. And start. Confirm, ready to start. Tune in, you may start. Caution with vehicles on the Delta taxiway, take off your discretion and clear display, wind calm. Depart as briefed, climb to 8,000 feet, Barnsley 1024, what type of service do you require?
Level 8,1024, traffic service, Typhoon 50. I was looking a little bit through the Canberra Economy gap at 1,000 feet and route round the south to Economy.
Yes, no, it's got a little wing.
50, that's approved.
Roger, request to send 1,000 feet on the Barnsley.
Typhoon 50, roger, descend at your discretion, 1,000 feet 1024. Reminder, below terrain safe level, you're responsible for your own terrain separation. What type of recovery at Coningsby?
Roger, my terrain clearance and happy for visual recovery and visual Coningsby.
Completely safe today. However,
Roger, Squawk 1750.
Squawk recovery, Typhoon 50.
About 36 rockets, which is enough firepower to take on those things. However, it's
so it's level 1,000 feet.
Typhoon 50, roger, contact correction. Contact Coningsby approach, Stud Falkley.
Base set for me.
Photographic enthusiasts out there. A good profile. You see how slim it is, and that's giving it, of course, extra protection against head-on enemy fire.
Indeed, and to help us there as well, each crew compartment has a little bit of armour. Not a lot, but it has some. But
Sierra Kilo 60, roger, start, request number of persons on board.
Put a crew glass between each cockpit as well there to try and protect the crew.
Now, I understand that it's 2 o'clock. Yes, one more tour to this, is that right? Before we go out?
It is, yeah. We're due to go again next year. hopefully it will be the last call for 662 Squadron. That'll be call number 5, and I think we'll...
Sierra Kilo 60, Waddington ground message. Sierra Kilo 60, are you ready to taxi this time for your display? Roger.
Captain Wilson will start wiggling around when we come into the lower aspect of the display. Controlled by his head, so the aircraft tracks where he's looking, and that then gets translated to...
Waddington ground, good afternoon. Orange 1 starting up for the demo, minute 36, confirm.
It kind of got a range out to about 4.2 kilometres, equates to just over 200...
Roger, confirm 1 POB.
And that's a firm, Orange 1.
Orange 1, Roger, start runway 20, QFE 1020.
1020, runway 20, Orange.
Orange 1, can you take an earlier display?
That's a firm, I would love to for fuel.
Orange 1, Roger, report when you're ready to taxi.
Orange 1, we'll go.
Great view of the land to survey. Again, you can use that for flying at night or indeed searching for the enemy.
Okay, well today Phil's got an altogether more pleasant task because all he has to do whilst he waggles his gun at you
Apache, clear to land along a beam Foxtrot taxiway, wind 15006 knots.
You can have a play on an Apache simulator, so that's...
Sierra Kilo 60, Waddington ground, runway 20, QFE 1020. Taxi along the Delta taxiway to the 20 Delta hold.
Okay, next left, report vacated.
Apache.
Apache, clear the main to ground.
60, clear takeoff and display, wind 14007.
Again, Roger, start runway 20, QFE 1020.
105, which occurred on the 29th of June 1963. It was developed...
Wind pass passage.
Ready for taxi, Bay 19.
Again, Roger, taxi runway 20, QFE 1020, along the Delta taxiway, hold at the 20 Delta hold.
Hold, 20 Delta hold, and clear to taxi, ready.
More modern Williams Rolls FJ44. The Austrian examples, meanwhile, powered by...
Oh, they're unable to VHF, but I understand he takes the next slot, and hopefully I will be able to make it faster if it is.
Chinook, Roger, that's copied. Report when you're ready to taxi. Yep. Figan, Roger, taxi back. Report if you close down. Figan, Roger, will you be going at all today, or is that you unserviceable?
No, I will display today. We know what the problem is. It seems that we mechanics know what the problem is. So I'll let you know later on.
Figan, Roger.
To the end and left report runway vacated.
And we'll report taking. Runway 20, QFE 1020, taxiing Delta hold, Orange. Yeah, copy, comms are a go. The seat is hot and locked. Cat 1 is on the jet, QFE 1020 is set. Flares are cold.
Waddington ground, Alpha,
Falcon, Waddington ground. Is there any chance you can bring your display time forward as there's a gap due to unserviceable aircraft?
Copy it, forwarded display time. Can you give me the revised display time? Takeoff.
Okay, can you make minute 36?
Copy it, minute 36 and 2 minutes ready to start up.
Okay, roger, call for start.
Copy, start approved, okay.
Okay, just CLB.
And now stage will come left. You will see the orange, the line also on the bottom of the aircraft.
Again, pass message.
We give it a try. I know after engine start up, do you want me in a sequence after the F-16 or do you have another shot for me?
If you can make the slot time minute 50. Again, roger, start runway 20, QFE 1020.
And now form a -3G, get your cameras ready because now you will see the orange line on top of the F-16.
Ground, Alka, I do Rexy.
Okay, Waddington ground, runway 20, QFE 1020, taxi to the 20 Delta hold.
And I 20, QFE code 1020, taxiing Delta hold. Okay.
F-16 is going to perform you a barrel roll.
Good afternoon from the cockpit. Captain Steve van Hutten, call sign Stitch. As you can hear, I'm still a little bit out of breath after some 9Gs. I'd like to all see you next time. Thanks a lot for your hospitality. I hope you enjoyed the shows of the fighter jets today and as well as the helicopters. Keep supporting our troops and enjoy the sound of freedom. Thanks a lot.
Aircraft caller Waddington ground, say again, call sign, pass message.
Atos, la patrouille de France. Request started clearing for a show at 15:03 the time.
On the ground in a few moments. Wave, and we would really like you to perform the wave with us. Over on the cockpit. Captain Steve van Hutten, call sign Stitch. As you can hear, I'm still a little bit out of breath after some 9Gs. I'd like to all see you next time. Thanks a lot for your hospitality. I hope you enjoyed the show with the fighter jets today and as well as the helicopter. Keep supporting our troops and enjoy the sound of freedom. Thanks a lot. And then watch this, let me bring it directly from the cockpit towards you.
Orange, short final, full stop with the gear.
Orange, clear to land, wind 180, 05 knots.
Orange, clear to land, copy the wind, and Orange will use the direction.
Okay, Waddington Tower, line up and wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Royal Netherlands Air Force, we thank you for witnessing our great show, and we wish you all a very pleasant remaining of the day.
Well, Christian, that was a real pleasure. You certainly made that exciting, Ben. I thought that was a superb display.
We'll go with this to the left, and I'll drop it on the taxiway. Thanks.
Orange 2 copies all, FX in run.
Orange 1, copy that. See you in a bit.
Absolutely superb. Well, just an important message, please, for those of you who are on the way through or live near Bracebridge Heath. There has been a major road traffic accident in that area.
Orange will go. And Orange, Marshall are inside.
Orange, got your report when closing down.
Orange will go.
Very good for it, and the radar, Italian radar, which is advantage of this aircraft because...
Turn on, Roger, your slot time will be minute 01.
Minute 01, thank you. Come on.
A nice aircraft to fly? A nice aircraft to fly? Do you get much opportunities for low levels? A very elegant display being performed by Pavel here. He is down currently.
Artos, pass message.
Atos, could you confirm our slot is 5:03 p.m.
I see the slot time is delayed now, minute 12.
The beginning slot is 5:12 p.m.
AFib.
Honestly, there was no life...
29, report ready to taxi.
Maybe...
Go. Again, Waddington ground, runway 20, QFE 1020, taxi 20 Delta hold.
Taxi 20 Delta hold 1020
It's a very attractive aircraft, a very distinctive aircraft with this extremely long nose.
Okay, clear to land, wind 14006.
31, Falcon.
20, QFE 1020, taxi on the Delta taxiway to the 20 Delta hold.
QFE 1020, taxiway Delta to 20 hold, and so on.
Waddington Tower, line up and wait. Line up and wait. Begin, clear for takeoff and display, wind 14005.
Let's take off and display, make it.
Waddington ground, Falcon frequency, after aquatic.
Okay, roger, taxi back, report master in sight.
Copy textual report launcher in sight, Falcon.
there, Ben. A really impressive performance indeed, and I agree. Totally wonderful to see him back in. He's completing a full 360 turn. He's going to climb up now and then run off the
Waddington ground, runway 20, QFE 1020, taxi on the Delta taxiway to the 20 Delta hold.
Taxi heading point 20 via Delta.
So beginning very good there and teardropping down. He's going to go into a series of barrel rolls now with another pull-up and then rolling off the top. So keep your eyes peeled. It's marvellous display so far. Flown by a very talented young fellow, Stellan Anderson. Ben, I suspect you've met him.
Yes, in fact, he joined the Swedish Air Force in 1969 and he has a huge amount of experience on all of the frontline types since then. A big display pilot in his active service and resuming that role last year on this beautiful silver example. Pilot for all of that time, and David Lindian said we were allowed to fly at 10 metres above lakes and 20 metres above ground, and we did that at high speed. Look at the platform, the double delta platform of the and the aircraft's performance was such that JA-37 version of the Volvo Fleetmotor RM8 engine were the only fighters that were 129 Biggins were built. When they were retired, the majority were turned into things like beer cans, but several have been preserved. There's one in the Newark Air Museum, not so far from here, and the historic flight has two.
Maneuverability, particularly at slow speed there. Given the age that this aircraft developed, so it's very high speed path coming up now, so stand by for a wheeling noise, but a great opportunity to appreciate this aircraft at low level. I have a very soft spot for this aircraft, as you might have gathered, George, not least because a good friend of mine flew one. This was Mike Rondo, former RAF Jaguar pilot, who's now an acclaimed aviation
coming in for landing.
Second or go down.
Gear stop. Clear to land.
There we go, what a beauty. That is quite extraordinary. That's a big, heavy jet, and that is a very, very impressive landing roll indeed. I did drop somebody at a bus stop once on the Highway 1 in Canada, but I was in a Beaver bush plane at the time. But it was snowing heavily, I had no chance of making the airstrip, so I said, chaps, I'm going to give up, but you can get the bus if you wish. And he's going into reverse as well, look at that! So that bit of manoeuvring on the ground as well as in the air, finishing off a superb sequence and a very nostalgic one for some of us who remember the type's service heyday from Stellan Anderson in the Swedish Air Force historic flight Saab AJ.
So we can take the first left.
Second Roger, first left and hold on the Foxtrot taxiway short of Delta.
UK air shows. We've seen Biggins before at UK air shows. Here on the runway is an aircraft that's never flown before at an English air show. The sole airworthy example of its type in the world.
Short of Delta taxiway, continue with ground 342.12.
241.
One of the earliest generations of indigenous Swedish jet fighters. Aircraft that first flew on the 1st of September.
Surface wind 1907.
Again, watching ground, hold position.
Licensing version of the Havilland Goat, as was used on the Havilland Venom and Comet, and the man who put the first J-29 into the air.
Again, taxi back to dispersal, report shutting down. Cross ground, hold your position and allow vehicles to cross the threshold.
Aircraft holding position.
Continue taxi 220, Delta hold.
Continuing taxi and holding 20.
121.3.
Switching tower 121.3 Atos. Passe 142 500. Derrière 142 500.
Afterburning version of the engine and a redesigned wing. Wing and more home.
Je ralentis et je m'arrête.
Pilots and technicians in 1992 decided to return to airworthiness. The airplane was donated by the Swedish Air Force Museum, and on the 11th of July 1995 it made...
Sur marché 95, on est prêt pour un décollage PS6, mieux monté au principalement diamant sur virage à gauche. Derrière, décollage, top.
Number of military and civil types, among them the Vulcan, the Gripen, and in his service with Scandinavian Airlines, SAS, the DC-8 and the DC-9. Today he flies almost all the types. Force wing, and is marked up as such, and Rudolph is Sweden's phonetic alphabet letter for R.
Well, marvellous, so glad you told me that. Well, it's not all over to me, Taylor, is it? So that was a marvellous close to that little paragraph, really, on the Swedish Air Force. But you see...
In-loop and watch after the I was saying, look after this second loop when the headship will climb up in the sky. The pressure will forward. It will go back into the diamond formation. That's it. He's in place. And the treasure is in this first year. Next year he will be the leader of the formation 2014. On each side you have Habib and the leader. You have the two inner wingmen. First year in the patrol. Listen to the leader. Je dégauchis maintenant. Stabilise.
Congratulations, we can applaud them, and now it's time for... Loosen the straps. High in the sky, don't do outdoors now. Show you now what it is. You appreciate the technique and the elegance of this slow and magnificent figure. The pilot follows one to the other. Now we reach a very romantic moment. What a beautiful tricolor, hard and now crossed by the arrow of the soul of the I would say the quality of the bird magic flight in single file. And what's now from the next? Paris top, mise de tranche top. On the front box and the two outer wingmen. And it shows, I would say, the high level of confidence you need to have one to the other in this kind of formation. Confidence also to the engineers. There is 37 of those in the Patrouille de France who sit there every day, winter like summer, the 8th officer for the Patrouille de France. Engineers, secretary, ops agent, communication director, that's teamwork, and you have understood that. Bye-bye. Chardin dans la 305, montant par la gauche, 3 0. C'est 30 qui veut. And it was the last word of the music. Little technical problem they had, and some tremendous other displays. A shame to single people out at solo here was fantastic. All three actually speaking, and such great displays from the UK's armed forces, the likes of the Chinook and the Typhoon and so forth.
Absolutely, and the weather was definitely on our side. The Great British Summer has returned. Ladies and gentlemen, we hear that the obstruction in Bracebridge Heath has been cleared, so traffic is now moving a little bit easier in that area. But I suggest that you don't rush off. It's an absolutely beautiful evening here. There's plenty more things to see around the site. If you're joining us...
taxi back. That's one thing ground, taxi back to dispersal, report shutting down.
Will be flying.